I'm Jordan Rayner, and this is the Word Before Work. Today we're reading from Matthew 5:13 through 16. Here's what it says. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. On July 26th, 1833, British Parliament voted to abolish the slave trade. The great victory came more than 45 years after William Wilberforce first met the great Hannah More. A few days later, Wilberforce passed away. A few weeks after that, More joined her friend in glory, a poetic end to the lives of the great poet and parliamentarian. A few years after More's death, Percy Bysshe Shelley wrote a now famous essay called A Defense of Poetry. In it, he credited Christian writers and artists, such as Hannah More, with ending slavery and emancipating women, saying, quote, "Poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world," end quote. Listen. It's obviously important to do your civic duty and vote in elections. However, More and Wilberforce show us that the only way to change culture ultimately is to create more of it. So sure, vote for the change you believe God has called the church to advocate for in this cultural moment. But if you really care, don't just vote, roll up your sleeves and create for change, because that's how change happens. In the words of Hannah More herself, quote, "I hope the poets and painters will at last bring the Bible into fashion, and that people will get to like it from taste, though they are insensible to its spirits and afraid of its doctrines." People will get to like it from taste. Sounds a lot like Jesus' sermon on the Sermon on the Mount, right? Paul says that the gospel and the ways of our Redeemer are foolishness to the world. See 1 Corinthians 1:18. But through our work, we can be salt, making the world want to get more of a taste of God's eternal kingdom. Now, I hear what you're saying. Jordan, I'm not a poet. How in the world does this apply to me and my work? We are all called to work and create as a means of extending the kingdom. Remember Jesus' parting words to his disciples recorded in Acts 1. He said, "You will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth." All of us are Jesus' witnesses. To what? His resurrection and corresponding lordship of the world. The whole world is, present tense, under his authority. We are witnesses to that truth, called to take the message of his kingship to the ends of the earth. You may not create a poem that convinces a generation of women to choose life for their unplanned children, but can you and your family create space in your family or budget to care for orphans? If you're an entrepreneur, can you create products that replace deceptive or harmful ones within your industry and spheres of influence? If you're an employee, can you work in a way that is so humble, so life-giving, and so exceptional that your coworkers will get to like Jesus and his gospel just from their interactions with you? Poets, writers, artists, and musicians, can you use the power of the Creator God in you to tell stories of truth, redemption, and hope? May we be people who do the hard, impactful work of creating for change for the kingdom. Today's devotional only scratches the surface of how God's word connects to our work. If you want to go deeper, sign up for my free 20-day devotional called The Word Before Work Foundations at twbwfoundations.com. These email devotionals are designed to help you gain a rich understanding of the biblical narrative of work, how exactly your work matters for eternity, and how those truths influence how we should work today. Sign up for free right now at twbwfoundations.com.